Hey guys, good evening, it's Cali. Today I'm going to be showing you my entry for the July Mission Inspiration for Mike Deakin's Facebook group. I'll put all the links below. I did this page using the prompts that he gave and the words to the song Woodstock by Joni Mitchell. I had a lot of fun with this page and I hope you guys enjoy it. If this looks like something you'd like to see how I created and put together, please stick around. I'd be happy to show you. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. I make videos very frequently and I love to share. Okay, so our first prompt is to apply a base color with a baby wipe. Well, I don't have any baby wipes, so I'm just going to use a damp rag. And I decided to use this Americana multi-surface satin in Blue Lagoon. Reminds me of the summer. It's a change up from purple. So I'm just going to apply this with the rag. It goes a long way. These paints are great. I've already put down some masking tape in the center of my pages and laid down some wax paper to try to protect what's behind. But I don't get too fussy with it ever. So this was easy enough. This should dry pretty quick. And I'll be back in just a few minutes with the second prompt. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, so this is basically dry right now. And the second step is to glue tissue or napkin fragments. And I decided to use some napkin fragments. I got these in Happy Mail. And I've just taken them, removed the backing, and ripped up some pieces here. I'm using my Americana Decoupage matte. I've just poured it in my palette dish. I have a big brush, and I'm going to randomly lay down these fragments. I have no plan in mind. I've said this before, I don't like to really read ahead to the prompts, put too much thought into them. I like to let it just develop kind of organically. So that's what we're going to do. I'll leave some space between the napkin pieces that I put down. And I'm just going to cover the whole page. So let me continue to do this, and I will show you guys what it looks like when this is all done. See you in a few minutes. So this is what we wound up with, and it's nice and dry now. I'm surprised that I barely let any of the blues show through. But I think it's pretty. And of course we're going to cover it up now, because the next step is to add a thin layer of white gesso or paint. I just have some of this Dale & Rowney's Simply Gesso, acrylic gesso. I got it at Walmart. And I put some in my palette dish, a little bit of a brush, and I'm just going to give it a thin coat. I really want to be light with this, because I don't want to cover up all that good stuff underneath. So I'm barely brushing this across. I was going to water it down, but I decided not to. And you can see it's picking up all of that great texture from the napkins. I'm just basically scrubbing this across here. And you guys are essentially looking at this page upside down right now. When I put the focal point down and that kind of stuff, I'll turn it around so you can see it more easily. But okay, well, that's different. I'm going to let this dry, and we'll be back with the next step. See you in a minute. Step 4 is to add texture through a stencil. So I have this Andy Skinner stencil, Baroque, and I thought we'd use this part here in the corners. And I have some homemade texture paste, which is basically a mixture of Mod Podge, cornstarch, baby powder, and white acrylic paint. So let's just get a little of this out. I have a palette knife. I'm not going to worry about the color because I imagine we'll be adding some color to this when I do the border. And this dries really firm and works out well, or has in the past anyway. I don't want to jinx it. So I'm just going to do all 4 corners. And we'll let this dry overnight. See how it firms up in the morning. It's a little chunky. I could have mixed it a little more. That's okay. Texture, texture, texture. Okay, guys, let's let this dry overnight, and I'll see you guys in the morning. And we'll carry on. It's a little smudgy, but that's all right. See you in the morning. Okay, so this is nice and dry. We're going to go on to step 5, which is to add 2 contrasting colors. I decided to use my Deco Art Media shimmer misters in yellow green and red violet. I really like the shimmer misters, but the nozzles have a tendency to clog. So this one I'm just going to pour into a palette dish and we'll use with a spouncing brush. I have 2 different stencils that I'm going to use. One is my Delusions by Ranger. It's just the dots. And that's, we'll use the green with. And then after that dries, we'll come in with this paper flower stencil that I got in Happy Mail with the violet. So let's just get started with the green. Shook these up really good. And just bounce it. See what we get. Randomly. I'm going to go over those texture paste spots by the end, I'm sure, when we do the border. Maybe a little more. Okay. Let this dry, and then I'll come back in with the violet. Violet? You're turning violet. Oh yeah, that's nothing. But actually that's kind of cool because I didn't want it too overwhelming. So, see you in a few minutes with the violet. Okay, so the green is nice and dry now, and I'm just going to come in with this. I'm a little nervous, but let's just go for it. Again, there's so many layers of these things that you really can't rely on what you're looking at until it's all done. So let's just, whoop, all right. I came out a little stronger than I thought, but it is what it is. Move it over. because there's so much texture on the napkin underneath, it's not holding the design, but I kind of like that actually. What do you think? I don't know, I kind of want to do one more right in the middle. Alright guys, that's it. We'll let this dry and come back with the next step, which is to adhere book text fragments. So that'll be cool. Okay, so the next step is to add book text fragments. So I just went into my stash of paper and I grabbed some old book pages and I've ripped them up. And back to our decoupage. I'm going to just kind of randomly put them down. I'm not putting any thought into where I may be going with this page. I have no idea where we're going with this page. Haven't thought about a focal image, anything. Just let it come out. So, I'm not going to cover up too much of our background. But I'm putting some of this down. Alright. So, I'm just going to randomly put these here and there, you guys. Just not too many. Let's see. About over here. And maybe one more. Okay. That's all I'm going to do. So we'll let that dry and come back for our next step. So these are nice and dry, and our next prompt is to stamp an image or pattern, and I decided to use this cool honeycomb pattern. I got this in some Happy Mail. It's like from a pot holder. It works really great, and I'm going to use my StazOn in jet black, and we're just going to randomly stamp some honeycomb patterns all over the page. I love this stamp. It just works no matter where you put it. It always looks great. Oh, that looks cool. And I never know when to stop. Down here, a little up here, maybe one more right there. Okay, that's it. We're going to move on to the next prompt, which is add a focal image or shape, and I have not given any thought to this, so I may collage something or I may draw something. I'm not really sure. See you back here when I decide. So I decided to draw my focal image, and I just wanted to show you before I get too far into it. I just took a piece of my mixed media paper from my Canson pad and a number 2 pencil, and I just lightly sketched out this fairy. She's kind of wearing an acorn cap and holding a snail and hanging out in the garden. Some mushrooms and maybe a flower. This is just a rough sketch right now. I will most likely be coloring it in with my Derwent Inktense pencils, and then I'll activate them with a little water brush, and I may add some detail with colored pencil once all that dries. But this is kind of what I'm looking at now. I'm getting an idea of what song lyric I want to use. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you, and I'll keep you posted. I'll be cutting these out. and then placing them on the page when they're dry. So I'll keep you posted. Okay, I'm just starting to lay down the Derwent color. This was just like a light brown. I'm not going to go through every color, but just so you get an idea. And I used my water brush and I've activated it. Just kind of getting an idea of what's going to happen here. Yeah, so just giving you some progress. It's fun. See you in a bit. Okay, I'm just kind of showing you the progress here. I just kind of realized that it looks like she's sniffing her armpit, but that's okay. She's looking down at the ground. I just colored in her hair and her little acorn cap here, and we're just going to activate it, start to activate it. I will go in when I'm done with these Derwent pencils with my colored pencils and just try to add some highlights and stuff like that. So just keeping you posted. Okay, so I'm just going to continue on like this until everything is colored in and painted, and then we're going to cut her out and we'll glue her on the page. I'm not sure about the flowers. Maybe I'll use some magazine collage flowers. Not really sure, but yeah, here we are. Okay, so I'm done with the Derwent pencils, and I'm going to go in with my colored pencils now. I have a bunch of these, what are they? Raffine pencils by Marco. I got these on Amazon, a set of like 72 for about 25 bucks. So I'm just going to go over and highlight some of these areas. I may do some more grass, but don't forget we're going to be, cutting these out. And I also have my white signal pen, and I'm going to do the white dots on the Amanita mushrooms. So I'll see you when that's all done before we cut it out. Most likely I'll be using decoupage again to put this stuff down on the page. Okay, I've cut everything out, and obviously I turned the page around so you guys could see it better. I haven't glued anything down yet. So I did cut her arm away from the mushroom just so I could position. She was a little taller than the page needed, so I may also cut the snail and just move him down just to make her fit. I added some more grass in the back. All I did was just, with the Derwent, I painted those and then just cut some grass here. These mushrooms came from Happy Mail, and I thought they balanced out the ones that I did, as well as these and these butterflies. So I positioned the flower a little bit under her arm so it looks like she's smelling the flower and not her armpit. I'm really happy with it. I think it came out cute. So I'm going to, once again, I'm going to have to get some more of this. Use my decoupage, and I'm just going to glue everything down. And then we'll be back for the next step, which I don't know if we can really fit too much more in here, but we're going to. Okay, so here's where we're at. And instead of the decoupage, I wound up using my Aleene's Tacky Glue. I just positioned everything. It gave me a little more play to work with. And the next step is to add a handwritten song lyric quote. Well, I don't know about you guys, but this is so busy in the background that I really don't think you're ever going to see it. Not that you really need to. I could write on the bottom or down the mushroom stems or something, but I'm really not feeling it. So I'm going to cheat a little bit because the prompt number 10 is to finish with a border. So I thought I would put a border at least up these two sides, and what I'll use for that, I'm just going to cut. This is a paper that I've been putting my paint on as I've been doing this page. So when I use the green paint, I put it on there, the blue is under there, the gesso, the stencils, everything. So I'll just cut some strips, and maybe I can add one here and one here. And I don't want to run over the snail, but maybe they'll meet across the top. And I want to use the words to the song Woodstock by Joni Mitchell and done by Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. So something like, we are stardust, we are golden, and we've got to get ourselves back to the garden, or something like that. I thought about maybe Soul Shine. There's so many songs. But I think that's what I'm going to do. So if you'll forgive me, I am going to cheat a little bit and combine prompts 9 and 10 and just lay down these borders. Like I said, I'll either rip them, or I do have a pair of decorative scissors that, you know, will do a kind of a cool edge, if you will. So maybe I'll do something like that. Not really sure. Yeah, that looks actually pretty good. So I guess I'll do that, and then I'll see you back here after we write it out, and it'll be all done. Okay, you guys, here you have it. It's all done. I'm kind of in love with this page. What do you think? I did, like I said, and just did the border and wrote the words to the song around the edge. So we are stardust, we are golden, we are billion-year-old carbon, and we've got to get ourselves back to the garden. And on the side, I gave Joni Mitchell credit for the song, and I signed it. Yeah, tell me what you think. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun putting this page together. Make sure you check out Mike Deakin's Mission Inspiration group. I'll put the links below. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you do. And yeah, I'll definitely see you guys next month. So take care, peace and love. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.